Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So once again here, we're back into my main account, and I just wanted to show you guys the ultimate way that I was able to find thanks to Ken Zhenzhi. I wanted to thank him because of all his insight and comments really gave me the ability to see which is the best and most efficient way to farm a Biddes on this update. You see, in all these minor update 1.8.5 and 1.8.6, some changes have been added into the game, and now concerning all this, with the correct setup and the correct strategy, 6.3 is not anymore the best way to farm Biddes. Even if it's gonna be very easy, you're gonna just need like 2 towers and a pretty easy and straightforward approach. Now the most efficient way to farm Biddes is with custom maps, and now this is because of the difficulty and how the percentage on difficulty on endless applies. Whenever you're playing on 900%, and I'm gonna now go to 6.3, you can see that the portal here is gonna have this standard difficulty, so 25-20%, and there is no way for you to increase it any further. And remember that loot is also linked to the portal difficulty, so the higher the portal difficulty, the better the loot you get from destroying those enemies. And look instead what happens when you play on a custom map with a 500% portal. So if you place a 500% portal and then you play it on endless 900%, the portal becomes 4500%, so almost 200% higher percentage difficulty than on 6.3. Of course, these enemies are a lot stronger to beat, and that's why for you to use the strategy I'm going to show you, you're going to need a lot of research, especially on like Flamethrower and Splash. Those are the 2 towers I recommend you to use for this custom map strategy. Other than, of course, like Biddes drop rate, low frequency, and rarity, but this is going to be needed even for 6.3, so at the end of the day I don't really think it matters that much. But for this custom map strategy, you're going to need a lot more on higher levels for your towers, especially for Splash and Flamethrower compared to 6.3. But differently than 6.3, you're not going to really need the coins generated per minute, and so yeah, that's just another thing that you are not going to need for custom map that instead you need on 6.3. So you can see that each one of the 2 methods is going to have some pros and cons. But yeah, now going into the strategy. So of course you're going to play on the highest possible difficulty. And then here on the custom map, you want to place here 8 portals, right? And another thing that I was able to find thanks to Ken Zhenzhi is the fact that the bosses are always going to be spawned from the bottom left portal. And that's why you can see that I placed these 50% portal, so very weak portal, in the bottom left. So in that way, the bosses that are gonna come are gonna be a lot weaker than the actual or the other enemies. And so in that way, for me, it's gonna be easy to beat bosses, but at the same time, I will be earning a lot of loot because of these very high difficulty percentage portals. So that is just what I recommend. Portals here, I've chosen portals that do not contain strong, armored, and healers, and you can see that they all have flying enemies, but that's totally fine for me. And then here, going into the actual map, you wanna the base. Now the base here should have especially these 2 stats here, range and damage. Well, range is not even that important, like probably around 20% should be enough. But especially damage, try to go for 30, 40, or 50%. And then because of the fact I'm going to use Splash, I also like going for a little bit more of attack speed. Towers upgrade price is also nice, so you can upgrade them faster. And experience as well, so that your towers can level up faster and they can do more damage. Remember that enemies are going to be very, very tough, so any help that is going to make your tower stronger, it's better. Another thing that I recommend you to place is a core that can enhance the damage that your towers can do, once again for the same reason. And the last thing is this boss tile. Now this boss tile contrary to what many believe, it's not worth it. I've tried many different strategies, and actually it wasn't significant. Like the amount of extra biddas that you can obtain because of this extra 10% is not significant. And actually many times the gameplay itself, it's harder for the very simple reason that the bosses appear more often. So yeah, if you play for the same amount of time, you're gonna have to deal with more bosses with your towers, and even if they're weak, but still, you know, you have to defeat them. Especially the spider boss here, Metaphor, can be annoying. So that's why I would recommend you not to place this boss style, but only like the core. And then remember to place damage here platforms for both your flamethrower and for splash. And then here, if you can, go for some range tiles where you can place freezing. So in that way, by placing freezing, you can slow enemies and you can increase the damage they take. So once again, just to maximize the impact that your towers have. And on top of that, you can see down here that I place some miners. So in that way, I can boost the experience that my towers can gain, and therefore they can level up faster. Always remember just to try to make them as strong as possible. So I'm gonna now play. You don't need any abilities at all, so that's something that's gonna be great. And you're gonna start by placing Splasher here in freezing and and flamethrower, search modifier, damage, then 3 platforms here for experience, and then 2 miners right here. And very important here, you want to have insta auto wave call active. I'm going to activate also the loot, but you don't want to click auto here. You just want to start. And this is going to be very, very important for the very simple reason that in this way, what you can do is you can increase the loot rarity that you can earn very, very simply by just making the timer run out. So see here that all this time that it's playing, that enemies are not coming out, is time where I'm stacking the loot, when I'm able to to increase the rarity of the loot without actually losing anything because there are no enemies spawning, right? So that's the very, very nice thing about going for this setup and this strategy. Getting now all the towers upgraded a little bit, right? Not too much. And now just going for this minus level 2. I see I also got here some minus speed modifiers, but my towers are already almost max level, so normally like at this stage I don't even upgrade them. I just place now here these freezing towers once again to maximize the damage I can do. Right, going here for the core for the right side, power here per level, very nice. And now once your towers reach level 100, as it happens right here, you can perfectly fine sell now all this. And yeah, you can just upgrade now your towers like up to level 10 or whatever level you wanna get them. And so they become a lot stronger. Right, getting here the extra percentage damage with freezing. And now look at the timer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the timer to reach 10 of energy, and then I'm gonna activate the auto wave, and I'm gonna have a ton of enemies incoming at the same time. So look here at the timer, right? It's getting closer and closer, and activating it now. All right. And here I'm gonna get some other modifiers, right? Boosting these towers, trying to destroy these enemies like as quickly as possible. And then with the coins I'm earning now, I'm just increasing these freezing towers, right? I got like as much boost as possible to these towers, so I cannot like increase the damage they do in any way. They are also level 100, so that's it. Just boosting these freezing towers. I'm gonna just keep on playing now until the timer reaches 15. So I will be playing for very little time, around like 3 minutes and 10 seconds, something like that. All the freezing here level 10. All right, you can see here the insane amount of loot, the rarity, a ton of biddas, and let's actually see how many biddas I was able to earn. And here we go. So there were some enemies here that I wasn't able to destroy, and you can see how strong enemies are with these portals. But look here at the amount of biddes. 8,900, almost 9,000. And the gameplay here lasted 3 minutes and 20, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, so it's a very quick gameplay. And yeah, this is just now the most efficient method I was able to find thanks to Zhenzhi to farm biddes. And it's a lot more efficient than 6.3. I'm gonna now show you 6.3 to just show you guys the direct comparison. And yeah, so in that way you can just see why now going for the custom map farming, especially on very late stages of Endless. So once you have like loot frequency, loot rarity, biddes drop rate maxed, you have some pretty strong towers. That's when I think custom map farming could be the most efficient way. But I think even better, even earlier than that, even when you have around like 30 or to 40 frequency level, stuff like that. And the only thing that's gonna limit you is gonna be how quickly you can like how strong your towers are, so how much damage you can actually do to enemies. Because remember, very high portals means very difficult enemies. Instead here, see that the difficulty is a lot less, like it's 2500, it's not 4500, so it makes the enemies also weaker. So even if you don't have such strong towers, you could still handle them. And you also have a lot less enemies to handle. You don't have to deal with bosses, just with a few type of enemies. And so that's why like 6.3, I would say that it's easier, and probably for early stages of Endless is still the best method. But if you really want to maximize the amount of biddes you get, custom maps now, it's just the best way. Because as I'm gonna show you here in a moment, if you play the same amount of time, you on 6.3 and on a custom map with the strategy I showed you, you get just less biddes. Alright, so once again here, I'm gonna wait until the timer reaches 9. In this case, remember that's the best way on 6.3. And here we go. And now just upgrading this miner level 3 and then eventually level 4. Alright. And now I can just upgrade this splash like level 3, also this freezing level 3. But yeah, this is just it. And again, here's just playing again until the energy timer reaches 15. So in that way, you can see that the total playing time on a level, both on the custom map or both on 6.3, is exactly the same, because I'm playing for the same amount of energy time in both scenarios. And that's why like you can compare the results, because at the end of the day the amount of time it's the same, and so you can compare the loot. Of course there is, remember guys, some RNG involved on biddes drop rate. So like sometimes you're gonna earn more biddes, sometimes you're gonna earn less. It's just RNG, so of course that's something that you should always remember. But consistently and just analyzing each gameplay after the other, you can see here, look at the amount of biddes I got, 6,800. Compare it to the 9,000 almost that I got before. So it's a difference of about 2,000 biddes, right, that you get between the two methods, so custom maps and 6.3. Of course, this is after double gain is applied, but it's just about around 2,000 biddes, even if you consider afterwards like all the RNG and all the possible changes on how much you gain. So yeah, I just wanted to do this video, and I want to thank again Zhenzhi for all the insight and all the strategies, all the tips they gave to me that really made me realize that custom maps are now the best way to earn biddes. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.